Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So this is a short presentation about a syllabus that I produced, and I want to allow everybody else to be able to become aware of it as well, inshallah. And therefore, my main aim is with madrasah and with the primary level Islamic schools. So, and of course, anybody who's homeschooling and teaching their children the Qaaidah. So this is just a brief presentation. I'm going to do more lengthy videos with each of these items, inshallah, to help people to be able to use them and also benefit from, if you like, kind of a training session in these resources. I've been using them in my own madrasa and one or two other places over the last 4 or 5 years or so in their development. I also produced a first edition, a second edition, now a third edition, where I actually started to put it together as a proper syllabus. Whereas prior to that, it was just loose books, resources, and things like that that were used for to help the Qaaidah being taught in different madrasas. Alhamdulillah, in my first edition, it was sold out. The second edition was sold out, and I think many of the madaris up and down the country who were viewing this, many of the ulama will know about the resources that I'm about to present, or at least the previous editions of them, inshallah. So I hope that this is going to be of benefit to you. And as I say, it's brief, it's just to give you an idea. Any further information, by all means, please get in touch with me, inshallah, and I will respond to that. So let's have a look at what we've got. So I call it the primary level Arabic syllabus. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So we've got a workbook 1, a workbook 2, a workbook 3, a workbook 4, and along with that we've got alphabet sheets, a buddy if you like. There's 2 types, and so they're both double-sided, A4 size, and then we've got the Arabic Qaaidah Part 1 and Arabic Qaaidah Part 2. All of these are, inshallah, exciting resources to help teach the Qaaidah in the madrasa, to try and get us away from this sabak pura type of mentality, which is very bad for the children, very daunting. And although there are a few such resources on the market, alhamdulillah, if we look over just across the road to the schools and look at the kind of resources they have many resources and varieties for, you know, teaching any aspect of the, you know, the syllabuses that they have in schools. So I thought it'd be a nice idea to have something that's new and different, and also very much focused on the Qaaidah. This is not Islamic studies. Please be aware, this is not Islamic studies. This is the Qaaidah, teaching alif ba ta all the way through to the level where the child can then read Quran, inshallah. And these are resources specifically aimed at helping to do that, inshallah. Okay, so let's have a look at the actual the alphabet sheet. So this is in a double-sided sheet. So you've got on the side 1, you've got your letters, and they're grouped as well according to their shapes. You've got the triple letters, and you've got the pairs, and then you've got the single letters at the bottom, without changing the flow of the order from alif to ya. On the other side, I've separated the letters. So once they've learned the basic letter shapes and names, you can then separate it into light letters and heavy letters. And then I've got a small piece here where we compare the small and the heavy letters together, similar sounding letters or similar letters with this similar haraka, makhraj, sorry, and what they've got here is a comparison between the two. Then underneath that, you'll actually find this, taking it to the next level, which is similar sounding letters, which are either both light or both heavy letters. So that's, and I'm sure you use different terminology. I'm just not trying to keep it simple without using words such as tafkhim and mafakham and so on. So because I want everybody who is not well versed in tajweed also to be able to understand this presentation, inshallah. So that's sheet or part 1 of the Arabic alphabet sheet. The second sheet then deals with the joining shapes. So you've got, again, alif, ba, ta, sa, and so on. And you've got the heavy letters now highlighted in purple, so that helps the child to learn and remember them. Remember, in the first party, they've already been given that. So again, more comparisons in the second sheet. And I'll go through this in more detail when I do the video on it, but it's actually a little bit more in detail and more in depth than simply the names of the letters. This is actually the sounds of the letters, something similar to what they do in phonetics in the English alphabet. Okay, then we move on to the actual Qaaidah, and I've got 2 parts of the Qaaidah. There are actually 3 parts, but I've done part 1 and part 2, and I'm working on part 3, inshallah. But they are very able to be used right now, and children that we've taught on these Qaaidas, alhamdulillah, it helps them to understand things which they don't normally find in the conventional Qaaidas because of my approach, which I broke down the steps in understanding various aspects of the Arabic alphabet, be it the capital shapes, the small case letters, or the harakat. So I'll go into that quickly as well, briefly for you, inshallah. So as you can see, we've got pages that start off with the first capital letter shapes, and you note that there's no dots. I don't put the dots in just simply to get the child to understand the shapes of the letters. So it's a couple of pages on that. Then we do a page or so on the dots. So that's all of these are, lessons that a teacher can deliver, inshallah, to the child and take the learning step by step. Then we've got the actual shapes of the letters, and we start beginning with, alif, ba, ta, sa, jim, ha, kha, and so on as we go through the entire alphabet. So again, this is taken through page by page. And then we have a special section at the end where we look at the idea of the Hamza and how, because often children confuse or misunderstand what the Hamza is. Why is it small compared to the bigger letters? And why is it sometimes above the alif, sometimes below the alif, sometimes in front of the alif, sometimes behind the alif, and so on. And sometimes on top of the waw and the ya. So we talk about that. And of course, the Ustad can then explain that to the child. And then further on to that, we look at the small case letters. So this is all Qaaidah part 1, and then we look at how the letters change shape from capital shape to joining shape. And I also have a presentation on some of the pages where we introduce how letters then join up by becoming capital to small case to joining shapes. And all of that, again, the teacher can use this as a means to explain to the child how letters pair up together and literally join together. Then we have obviously going through the alphabet, we go from the capital to the small case, and the child then also has words at the bottom of each page where they learn the particular letters on that page joined to other letters of the alphabet. Now, those are the letters at the beginning. So we have letters, and we know, of course, there's 3 places where the letter joins. It joins at the beginning of a letter to the next letter, joins in the middle between 2 letters, and joins at the end. So I've also broken it down to that as well. So we've got the letters and their shapes in the middle between 2 letters, and of course the letters on the end when they're the last letter in a particular word, which more or less reverts to the capital shape. So all of this is pointed out. Then we talk in the last section, again, similar to the capital letters, we have a special section where we look at letters where they change shape when they join, but they become something very special in the sense that, it might be 2 letters that like the Gaf, Alif, and it looks like 1 letter. So we call them clever letters. So there are funny terminologies as well being used throughout the books as well. So if you can use that with the children and build them up on that, then it helps them to learn, because a bit of humor helps the children to remember this lesson, inshallah. Then we've got the Qaaidah part 2. So that's all part 1, focusing just on letter shapes, capital and small case and special qualities. Then we've got Qaaidah part 2, which look at the harakat. So you've got the vowels, which is what they call in English. So you've got your single vowels, fatha, kasra, dhamma. You've got your double vowels, which are the tanweens, and you've got your long vowels, which are the fatha mad, kasra mad, dhamma mad. So those are broken down into 3 sections, and each one is presented separately. And then we've got exercises on that. Then we've got the sukoon. And again, we've got this special teaching page here where we look at how a word is built up and the addition of the sukoon and how it changes the structure of the word, but how it's actually done. And so this is all down to the teacher, how they want to teach it, although there are notes for it, inshallah. Same again with the examples of the sukoon and the long vowel letter. So when fatha, kasra, dhamma are joined to alif, waw, ya. And so that's in that section. And we then have the tashdid. So when letters become mushaddad, so how that happens, again, similar to the sukoon, but we now take the sukoon principle, which is, as you can see in the example there, dod, fatha, lam, sukoon, dol, and then add an extra lam, and you get dol, la. And if you do a tashdid, you take out the 2 lams and only have 1 lam, which actually is representative of 2 lams. So you've got all this, and you can teach all that to the children. And the older they are, the more you can give them details, and it helps them to learn. And if you go across the road again to the schools teach them a lot of details and factual information when it comes to science and English grammar and so on. So it would be nice to sort of, make the lessons more interesting by having these details in there. Okay. And then we've got the actual haraka, and we've got the words there, and we start with simple words, 2-letter words, then 3-letter words, and then we work on from there to fatha mad, kasra mad, dhamma mad. Then we start addition pages with sukoon, and then we finally end up with tashdid words as well. So that's that part of it. We've also got then the workbooks. Now the workbooks work with the Qaaidas part 1 and 2. However, you can use them separately. All the Qaida works, in fact, I produced the workbooks first and then I produced the Qaida only recently. And the workbooks, alhamdulillah, were being used by madaris up and down the country, and they were being used with various different forms of Qaida, where you've got the Ahsan al-Qawaid, you've got the Nurani Qaida, Qaida Baghdadiya. It doesn't really matter. Even the newer Qaidas now by various, new producers of syllabus, alhamdulillah, you can still use these books because they're separated into topics, and those topics are found in every single Qaida, because it's just basic structure of the learning of the Arabic alphabet from Alif Ba Ta to the level of the Quran. However, I just want to go through a few of the pages in the workbook, so you can see they've got the letter shapes, capital letter shape, joining letter shapes, so they do a little bit of coloring, and they look at the different shapes and how they're changed. So this goes hand in hand with what's in the Qaaidah, by the way. You can use it as with other Qaaidas and just give them a separate handout, so sheets to do as homework or even classwork, or you can actually use them with the Qaaidas, and they're all coordinated. Then you've got letter recognition and writing sheets. So they color these letters, or they write these letters out, and they learn how to write them and recognize them. You've got different shapes of letters. You've got the capital shapes, and you've got the joining shapes. And again, we've got a page here where you can explain to the child how the letters join, and then to color them in or to write them in. So we've got various exercises on that as well. Middle shaped letters, end shaped letters, beginning shaped letters. It's all there in coordination with the Qaaidas as well. There's also a focus on the harakat, which is in Qaida part 2. So this will be workbook 3. So you've got your fatha, kasra, dhamma, you've got your tanween, you've got your fatha mad, kasra mad, dhamma mad, exercise sheets on all of that, and then into the words. Again, we begin with 2-letter words, and then you've got 3-letter words and 4-letter words. And along the way, you'll find that there are pages with helpful hints. So there's little clues at the bottom of the page. Either they're in red, so they're kind of like a warning, watch out, look out for this letter or that letter because it's, similar, and not to confuse it. Or you might have, thoughtful responses along the way as well, which kind of, get the child to think about what they're doing or what they've previously learned and how it connects with what they're learning currently. Then you've got notes for the asatiza, so it helps the teachers to understand how to teach the workbooks and to teach the Qaida as well, for that matter. You've got sections and themes, so you've got single vowels, you've got double vowels, long vowels, you've got sukoon, the long vowel letters, the letters of leen, silent letters, tashdid, and then you've got the reading challenge, and you've got words from the Quran as well, which are given towards the end of the Qaida. Also, there's an index of letter names, and I've given sort of similar sounds in English. So you've got alif, hamza with the English letter A, and A as in the word cat. So B, bear, B as in the word bat, and so on. So you've got some of that which will help the child to understand how to make the sounds, because don't forget, they've learned all of this in schools. And so when it comes to the madrasah, it's easier for them because they've connected with what they've already been taught in school, so they're able to make the sound more appropriately and correctly. So there's that. Then, of course, at the end of each of the workbooks, I've got an assessment sheet. So what happens here is, as the teacher marks through the book, then each page can be found at the back, and you put down a comment and you put down their score, and you can add their scores up and give them a final mark, which is a percentage. So that goes within each of the 4 workbooks. So that's your primary level Arabic syllabus. So you've got your workbook 1, 2, 3, and 4. In fact, Arabic workbook 4 can actually be used quite independently as a testing, and I've done that myself quite a few times, because the lessons on that are more advanced to do with sukoon and tashdid and so on, and you can either just use that as a tester for children, even not using the entire of the rest of the syllabus. You can just use workbook 4 and give the children, especially the older children, something which tests their knowledge of the basic tajweed rules concerning tashdid, sukoon, the harakat, including the long mad as well. That's included in here as well. So you can use that book for that separately. Then I say you've got your alphabet sheets and you've got your Qaaidas. Okay, so the next question will be, how much is all of this going to cost? So, of course, everything has its price, and I've tried to keep it as low as possible and as simple as possible, and so it's convenient for the madrasa. So what we have here is we got your Arabic book 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're priced at retail £3.50. That's the retail. and you've got your alphabet sheets. These are plastic, glossy, laminated sheets, very flexible, easy to bend and so on, because children tend to do that, but they won't rip so easily and they won't crease so easily. So this is, convenient for the children. That it's very floppy, very, easy to sort of bend and twist and then undo again. So that's the sort of the structure that they have. Then those retail at £1 each. That's the retail, £1 each. And you've got your Arabic Qaaidah 1 and you've got your Arabic Qaaidah part 2, and those are £3 each. Okay, those are the price, £3 each. As for the madrasah, they get it at a wholesale of 35%. So there are one or two wholesalers which are, alhamdulillah, they're stocking these, but not too many. I'm not going to too many because I want to keep it simple. And at the end of the day, I want to help out some of the wholesalers who have helped me to support and fund some of this, these resources in terms of paying for it to the printers and publishers. Alhamdulillah. So further information, that's my email and that's my number. You can call me, you can email me, inshallah, and I will respond to you if you just send me a message with your name, which madrasa you're on, and what you'd like to know, inshallah, and I'll be happy to respond to that, inshallah. So I hope that was of use for you, and jazakallah khairan for your time and patience. I hope that wasn't too much for you and too long for you. I know we like to have short videos about these things, and I'll try to do that, inshallah. So jazakallah khairan for your attention. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.